Shining the light through highs and lows, we'll stand as one. Our legacy a tale that's just begun. Together we roar, together we roar. The Detroit Lions will rise, with a heart full of dreams and the fire in our eyes. From the past to the future, we'll claim our own. In the home of the brave, we'll proudly have grown. So let's lift our voices, let's turn it up loud. For the love of the Lions, we'll always be proud.
All right. Lions win, Lions win, Lions win. And the Commanders have done us a little bit of some help here by taking down the Eagles. And guess what? We broke all sorts of franchise records and other records today. And now the Carolina Panthers just stunned the Cardinals in a final second overtime win. Wow. The 4-11 Panthers just took down the 7-8 Cardinals. I think that all but seals the Cardinals' fate. They did not end up being the team that I thought they would be this year, man. They were close, but they just couldn't figure it out. But, man, I'll tell you what. Your Detroit Lions are definitely in control of their own destiny at this point right now. With the fact that the Eagles have now taken a loss and the Vikings taking on the Seattle Seahawks right now, I think they're leading 7-0. If the Vikings lose today, I don't think that there's a way the Lions can't get the 1 seed or retain the North. Let's take a look at some NFL standings real quick just to see, and we'll also do the playoff predictor, but we're also going to bring in Dan Campbell. We're going to get it all done in this post game. It's going to be quick, it's going to be hot, and then we're going to be out. And I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow morning back on the Rise and Grind morning show. Quickly, though, do us a favor, smash the like button while you're waiting for me to get some information pulled up. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you're new to the channel, please join us here at Rock On Detroit Lions. We have so much fun. We like to give away a lot of things here. We like to be that bridge between Lions fans and the teams. You just might end up with a mini helmet in your den signed by Panay Sewell. You just got to stick around and join the team here at Rock On Detroit Lions. So taking a look at the NFL standings right now, the Eagles are now 12-3. Your Detroit Lions are now 13-2. So Dan Campbell said it was going to take more. Last year, we finished 12-5. This year, we are already at 13-2. So, Dan, we've got one more so far. Can we get another? Can we get to 14-2? I think we can. But more importantly, can we get to Eric's call of 15-2? I would love to see for the Lions to get it 15-2 and lock everything up, because that's exactly what it would do. My call was 14-3, would lock up the 1 seed and lock up the North for sure. Let's see if that happens. But right now, the Lions are in control of their own destiny. They are leading all teams in the NFC. They are the clear number 1 seed right now. And I don't think that they're going to relinquish the opportunity to take a step backward. Let's bring in Dan Campbell, though. I want to hear what he had to say after the game. I'm very interested, matter of fact, to hear what he had to say after the game. Because a lot went well in this game, but then again, a lot didn't go so well in this game. But I think they did what they had to do. Dan doesn't give a shit about stats. I'll tell you that right now. He does not care. He does not care. All right, let's bring him in.
My face. You got a smile on my eyes to emotionally.
Hold up. Do you guys have an echo? Do you have an echo? And I can want to make sure you guys can hear the, you can hear it. No echo, but you can hear the audio. Are we all good? I'm going to keep going here. All right. So when we were live, when that happened, I noticed it right away that it was a fake fumble look. Right, Jared Goff steps back, acts like he's tripping. He's not tripping. I can tell he's got the ball tucked. And then he points to the ground like he fumbled the ball. And then Jameer jumps, rolls on the ground like he's recovering a fumble. And if you're watching this as a defense, because you can't see, right? You can't see across, 1,500 pounds of flesh in front of you on an offensive line and another 1,600 pounds of defensive flesh on a defensive line. You can't see. So when these guys are fumbling around on the ground, they're thinking the ball's out, and the defense probably relaxes for a little bit, or they get out of their rhythm, right? They get out of their assignment. Bang, Sam Laporta gets wide open for, a touchdown. So I noticed it right away that it was a fake. Amazing play by Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson. Absolutely love it. I love the smile on Dan, man. I love the smile on Dan. Hey, real quick, we've got a new listener right now from Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. Hey, shout out to you, Chris Coiler. Chris, if you're interested in going on cruises, the Detroit Lions Ultimate Tailgate Cruise hosted by Rockdown Detroit Lions and Rockdown Cancer Foundation will be kicked off this summer, 2025. More information to follow.
And
so I think that's the biggest thing. One of the things that I said today with Riley during the game, we were talking about, how the Lions make adjustments and, are they self-correcting, right? Are these Lions players self-correcting what they're doing? And that's what I felt. And Dan just said the same thing. When these guys make mistakes, when this team has a bad game, it's not so much that they're like, oh man, piss poor me and, sky's falling, right? I suck. No, it's like, what did I do wrong? How do I fix it? I don't want to do that again. They take the ownership. This locker room is self-managed, right? Dan Campbell doesn't need to walk into the locker room and tell them how to behave and what to do and what not to do. There's a time to have fun, there's a time to play, but then there's a time to get busy and there's a time to stay dedicated and continue to do what's right for the team. And I feel like this locker room does that. And again, Dan Campbell just reiterated that same fact that these guys don't want to make mistakes. And if they do, they correct it. And I think that that's big. And that's why we are where we are today, is because we've got the right guys in the locker room. So if you've ever questioned how Dan and Brad have put this team together, this is the result, right? What we're seeing right now is the result of them taking their due diligence and finding the right guys. Not the flashy guy, right? Not the most coveted athlete, not the most expensive free agents, right? Not the highest guys at the trade deadline. It's the right guy. And the right guy goes a lot further than the wrong guy that costs you a lot of money, but he has a bunch of sacks. It could be the wrong guy. So I'm 1,000% bought in, like I always have been, to how they've been building this team since day one. And this is just, the proof is in the pudding from week to week to week of why we are where we are. So Dan Campbell's talked about the trajectory all year. You start at the bottom, and week by week by week, you add a few bricks, you add a few layers. Like he says, you're cleaning things up. There's things that we did in the week before. We clean it up. We can't do it in that game. But guess what? Now in this week's game, you did something else stupid. Well, we're going to clean that up. And next week, we're not going to do that. But hopefully, as each week goes on, and you get past each week in an NFL season, you've cleaned up every single one of these things. And when you get to the end of the season, you're ready to make the playoff push if you're in the playoffs. But I would say this, though. I mean, week 16, there can't be that much more that the Lions really need to clean up. If there is that much more, it's only because they have a bunch of new bodies on this team. And that's the issue I think we're facing. If we are, 6 or 7 guys healthier right now, I don't think there's as much to clean up. I think that we're flying. But we just brought in, all of these players over the last week and elevated. 9 roster moves yesterday, but elevated, 3 guys off the practice squad this week or yesterday. And yeah, you're going to have some stuff to clean up because these guys haven't played a lot of football. And I think that's kind of a telling part of where the season is right now for the Lions.
And it just doesn't get any better than this. This is what it's all about. And so, can it get frustrating? Can it get stressful? Yeah, it gets all those, but it's also, it's the drug. It's the drug. This is what you live for. And look, some can't handle this. It's too much for them. Players, coaches, teams, it's just too much, but not our group. This is the good stuff, man, and we're in the middle of it right now.
Before you go, Gibbs, you leaned on him heavy early. He had a big game. Just, thoughts on the way that he played and carrying the load that he did.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I did. You know, I didn't think that we missed a beat with him just taking on a little bit more of those. I thought Jefferson and Craig stepped in and were solid in the roles that we had for them. Both of those guys made critical plays, and so I thought it was good. And look, that was somewhat his first taste of, you know, really taking on more of the load, and so that's good. That's step one, and it was good. Good exposure. Yep.
All right, you heard from the man himself, man. This is the drug. Winning is the drug. It absolutely is. He feels it. He knows where he is right now. He is in rarefied air for a Detroit football team. It's never been done in the history of my 44 years on this planet. It's never been done. Not to this extent. Not the way that we're doing it now. This is a totally different team. I'd have to agree with him on a lot of things that he was talking about in there. You know, that you have to have every emotion evolved out of the player. I think that Dan has taken a lot of what he did as a player and everything that he went through as a player, and he's probably sat back and thought, man, if this was better, I could have been better. If this was different, team could have been different. And he's probably drawn off of all of these different conclusions through life and situations through life and comes forward and says, if I was to coach someday, this is what I'm going to do. Maybe he has his own little black book where he makes all of his notes, all these little memories and things that he can remember for his future. And now he's there, right? He's been there for the last 4 seasons as a head coach of the Detroit Lions. And he's pulling out all of these cool little one-liners that come from a place that he's been before. And that is what resonates with these team, with his players in this team, is that he's been there before. And now he's trying to put it all together from a head coach's perspective. Dan is different, man. The guy is so different from any other coach that I've heard talk, from any other coach that I've seen walk. He's different. I've got the utmost respect for what he has done. Whether it's, week in and week out, you've got guys saying that, what he is doing is,
this is reckless,
or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. He wants to win. Dan's trying to win. He's always put us in a position to win. The Lions are 13-2. I thought I would never see that. The Lions clinched the playoffs. On Thanksgiving, right near Thanksgiving? I never thought that I'd see that. Usually we're already looking ahead to the draft. But this is 2 seasons in a row where the Lions have gone 12 wins, and then they get better the next season with 13 wins, and then we'll probably get a couple more, right? Never thought that I'd see that. We're in a great place. Let's go through the numbers real quick. Jared Goff, once again, throws for over 300 yards. Threw 336 on the day, 23 of 32. He took 1 sack for 7 yards, a 137 rating. 137 rating. It is so good that is Jared Goff's 11th game this season with 100+ passer rating. 11th game this season with 100. That is a new single season franchise record. He averaged 10.5 yards per pass today. That's huge. Jahmyr Gibbs, 23 carries. Another Rocks Locks call. I said it on Friday. I expected him to get about 23 carries. He got exactly 23 carries. 109 yards, 4.7 yards per average run, and 1 TD for Jahmyr Gibbs. Craig Reynolds stepped in towards the end. He had 4 carries of 18 yards, 4.5 yards, a rush for him. Pretty damn good for not getting a whole lot of totes of the rock throughout the season. Jamar Jefferson had a few nice plays. He had a nice catch, couple runs, 3 for 13. He also averaged 4.3 yards. Man. First game I've seen from Jared Goff where he ran 1 for -1. I guess that's okay, right? The broken-legged giraffe didn't do it again today, but that's okay. J-Mo had a run, 1 of 7 yards. Jamison Williams finished the top of the stat line again today. 5 receptions, 143 yards, 1 TD, had an 82-yard touchdown. Like, I can't believe that play, man. That was absolutely exciting to watch. 5 of 7 on targets. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 receptions, 8 targets, 1 TD. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 for 45. So I said that Jahmyr would have 90, and I think I said 45 through the air and a TD. We'll have to go back and look. I'll have to clip it from Friday. Actually, you know what? I have it right here. I have my calls right here. I said that Jahmyr would have 85 yards on the ground, 45 yards through the air, and a TD. I don't know how I get so close. I said Amon-Ra would have 80 yards. Amon-Ra had 70. I was close. I said Sam Laporta would have 60 and a TD. Sam Laporta had 43 in the TD. I said that Tim Patrick could have 50 in the TD. That didn't happen. Tim Patrick had nothing today. Bunch of goose eggs. And I had J-Mo. Well, I was way off on J-Mo. I thought that J-Mo wasn't going to be the leading guy today, but he was. So got a few calls right today. Got a lot of touchdowns right today. At the end of the day, we got the win. That's all that really cared. That's all that really matters. Brian Branch, leading tackler, 12 tackles, 1 TFL, 1 pass defense, 1 QB hit. Amik Robertson had a really good game. 8 tackles, 1 TFL, 2 passes defensed. Jack Campbell might be player of the game. 7 tackles, 1 pass defense. Terry and Arnold, no flags. 6 tackles, 1 pass defensed. And Fatu Melifonwu played a lot more snaps than I expected today. I think he clocked somewhere near 75% of the defensive snaps. That's a lot for him just getting back, but he had a pretty damn good game too. He had 1 sack, 1 TFL, 1 QB hit, and 4 total tackles. So Lions had 57 tackles combined, 2 sacks, which was another Rocks Locks call. That said we would have 2 sacks today, 6 TFLs, 6 passes defensed, and 5 QB hits. Man, was Caleb Williams questioning life today. There was moments that he looked just like the last game. He did not want to get off the ground. He is questioning everything that he has done to this point in life. Like, why did I want to go number 1? Why did I want to go to the Chicago Bears? It just wasn't going to happen, buddy. Wasn't going to work out for you. Not with that general manager. I'm telling you, until they get rid of Ryan Poles and completely clean house and start over, it ain't going to work in Chicago. Caleb got beat up today. Bad. He got beat up bad. Big shout out to the chat. Who we got in here? We got Trace in here. We got John Barfield. John was right on JMO today. Nice calls by you, John. John Desage in the house. Jay-Z's in the house. Bo Booth. Trace. Riley. Steve K. Becky Cook. Benjamin Welmers. That's a new name, man. Hey, welcome in, buddy. Take care. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Who else is in here? Whiskey Neats in the house. Michelle McConey. Adam Gikwowski. J Mac. Darius Smith. And anybody else that I missed, I apologize. Honor you, Dad. I see you in here. All welcome in. So by the numbers here, if we were to take a look at who's the potential player of the game and what did they do in this game, I mean, clearly J-Mo on offense. I mean, he had a big day. He had a really big day. But Jahmyr Gibbs, the way that he stepped up today and the way that he performed and how critical some of those runs were, I'd have to give a game ball to Jahmyr. But I have a feeling that J-Mo, he might have got one for offense. I don't know where the game balls have gone yet. But for me, I would give one to Jahmyr today. Not just because I'm wearing his jersey, because of what he did on the ground today. He really stood up. He really stood up. You know, Montgomery is out. He had to stand up and take all the load today, and he did. There's only a handful of snaps that went to Jamar Jefferson and Craig Reynolds today. There's only a handful. He proved to us why he can carry the load the rest of the season if he has to. Inside, outside, through the air, doesn't matter. Jahmyr Gibbs can get it done. Matter of fact, he broke another record today. Jahmyr Gibbs has produced 100-plus scrimmage yards in 9 games this season. This is the most by any Lions running back since Barry Sanders in 1997. Franchise record. Let's see. What else did we have in here today for good old Jahmyr Gibbs? There was another one. Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown, history to record 100 receptions and 10 receiving touchdowns in consecutive seasons. So Amon-Ra St. Brown passed 100 receptions today. He joined Herman Moore as the only two players in team history to have at least 100 receptions in 3 different seasons. Congratulations, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown also joins Larry Fitzgerald as the only players to log multiple seasons with 100-plus receptions, 1,000-plus yards, and 10-plus TDs through 4 career seasons in NFL history. That is absolutely incredible. Now, Sam Laporta also produced the second most receptions, 133 by a tight end through 2 career seasons in NFL history, passing Rob Gronkowski. And then, of course, Jared Goff. He has now produced 41 career 300-yard passing games, tying Dan Marino and Matt Ryan for the second most 300-yard games through 9 seasons in an NFL. It is NFL history. So last week, Jared Goff, when he threw for 300-plus yards, he finally made it into the 40 club, right? He had 40 career games plus 300 yards in 9 seasons. There was only 4 other guys, 4 other quarterbacks in that record. It was Matt Ryan, Dan Marino, and I forget, was it Pat Mahomes or was it Tom Brady? I forget who the other guy is. And then now Jared Goff. So congratulations to him. Jared Goff also set a single season career record today by reaching 33 passing TDs. And he's just been on fire. Absolutely on fire all season. There was another one in there for Jahmyr. I don't know where it is. But we also set a franchise record for 7 road wins in a season. And it is also a new single season franchise record for 13 wins for the Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs produced 100-plus scrimmage yards in 9 games. And then there was another one. I don't know where it is. Anyway, highest graded players today, pre-grade. Jack Campbell scored an 88. Levi Onwuzurike scored an 85. Brian Branch, 83.2. Player of the game, Jack Campbell. He had an all-around display. He had a sound all-around display to catalyze the big showing from Detroit's banged-up defense. The second-year linebacker allowed 5 catches for 51 yards in primary coverage, but he also added 4 stops in the passing game. In the run game, Campbell recorded another stop and did not miss a single tackle all day long. So big shout out to Jack Campbell. Jay-Z says, if he delivered in his first game back to prevent a TD at the end, he absolutely did. But you know what? Even if they would have scored the TD, it probably wouldn't have mattered a whole lot. But I got to tell you, you know who's the big surprise for me today? And I agree with you, by the way, Jay-Z. He really stepped up big time if he had a great game today. Do you know who stepped up the most today? And it's a guy that no one's probably thinking about right now. I'm definitely giving a game ball to this guy. And his name is Christian Mahogany. Christian Mahogany goes from battling mono during the offseason, throughout the summer, is on an NFI list more than half the season, finally gets activated, makes it back to the team. Graham Glasgow goes down, and he steps up. He had a hell of a game today. There was not a drop-off in coverage, protection, pass pro, you name it, run blocking. I think he had a really good game. Matter of fact, let's check out what his initial grade would be for today. I am interested to see. Not bad. Not bad for a guy that's getting a lot of snaps. He had a 61 overall, 63.5 in run block, 69.4 in pass block. Taylor Decker had one of his better games of the season in pass block today. Not so much in everybody struggled in run block today besides Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeitler. But Penei Sewell struggled the most. He was 60.2. He was the lowest graded offensive lineman today. He had a 43.8 in pass block. Not a great day for Penei Sewell, but Christian Mahogany really stepped up. Dan Skipper stepped up on limited snaps. He had about 6 snaps. But between Kevin Zeitler, Frank Ragnow, and Taylor Decker, man, Christian Mahogany, man, what an excellent job. We are in it to win it, guys and ladies. We are almost there. We are almost there. We are a couple games away. And then it's going to be playoff time. Couple games away. Right now, with Minnesota and Seattle, game is knotted up at 7-7. And tomorrow night is the Green Bay game. So if Seattle can pull this game out, which I think that Seattle can win this game, then I think it's smooth sailing from here. We just gotta maintain. We could if they both lost, that means we could still drop one. We could still drop one of those games and still maintain the 1 seed. Let's go into the playoff simulator real quick, and then we're gonna jump off for tonight and get back to it tomorrow morning. All right, let me get this thing in here. Okay, so right now, your Detroit Lions are clearly the number 1 seed. Let's play with this a little bit. Where's tonight's game? Right here. Let's just go ahead and say that Minnesota wins. I don't think they will, but let's just say that they do. Buffalo's going to win. Raiders are going to win. Dolphins are going to win. Bucks are going to win. We'll just say Green Bay is going to win. So that puts Minnesota at 13-2, tied with the Detroit Lions. Right? I'm fully on board here that I think Seattle is going to win tonight. Week 17, you've got Green Bay at Minnesota. Green Bay comes in and knocks them down. Let's just say that happens. Lions go out to San Francisco. Let's just say we drop that game. Eagles at Cowboys. Let's say the Eagles win that game. Lions are still the 1 seed. Lions are still in control of the North. We're knotted up with Minnesota 13-3 and 13-3. Green Bay would be 12-4. Nothing else really matters at this point except week 18. And then in week 18, you've got the Eagles in New York. Well, Eagles are going to win that game. That means that the Lions would have to win against the Vikings. The Lions would have to win against the Vikings if that was the scenario. Now, if we go back to week 16 and Seattle wins and we go to week 18 and the Vikings win, the Philadelphia Eagles become the 1 seed. Only because our record is less at 13-4, which means we would have to take care of San Francisco. So even as it is right now, as long as we beat San Francisco, and even if we lost to the Vikings, we could go 1-1, lose to the Vikings, beat San Francisco. We're still the 1 seed, is even if the Vikings or even if the Eagles win out. Because that's what I have them doing. I have the Eagles winning out. And assuming, let's just say the Vikings beat Green Bay, That makes them 14-3. It makes us 14-3, and the Eagles 14-3. And in week 18, that has the Vikings beating us in week 18, and we are still the 1 seed, and we still own the North. Jay-Z, Eagles cannot get the 1 seed, worst division record now. I don't know what you mean by that, because let me go back and erase all this real quick. The Eagles are going to win the next 2 games. Let's just say Washington beats Dallas in week 18. Week 17, let's just say Washington beats Atlanta. That should happen. Dallas is like, they don't really matter for anything. And so that would put Washington at 12-5 and Philadelphia at 14-3. So I'm not really following you on that, because Philadelphia, they're currently 12-3 and Washington is 10-5. So they definitely would take care of their division. I mean, it's between us and Philly. That's, I don't know what else. What you talking about there, Jay-Z? It's between us and Philly. All the rest of the way. And it could be the Vikings. I mean, the Vikings could also be thrown into the mix. I'm not really following you there, buddy. It goes by overall wins first, by the way. Overall wins. So first it's overall, and then after that it goes to conference, division, and things of that nature. But we're sitting pretty good. So week 16, Lions took down the Bears. If Green Bay beats the Saints, that's more than likely going to happen. Washington ended up beating the Eagles. And we move on to week 17. If the Vikings beat Green Bay, it's possible that could happen. The Eagles should beat the Cowboys. Hopefully they don't. If the Lions beat San Francisco, which should happen, and then in week 18, the Eagles should beat New York. Washington should beat Dallas. Green Bay should beat the Bears. If the Lions happen to lose in week 18, we are still the 1 seed and we are still the NFC North winners. So we can win against San Fran. We can lose in week 18. Let's flip-flop. Lions win in week 18. Week 17, we lose. We are still the number 1 seed and we still own the North. And again, that has the Eagles winning out. And that has the Vikings winning everything but the last week. So we really just have to win one more game for the North and for the 1 seed. Does that make sense? We really only have to, according to this calculator, this doesn't take into consideration all of the other conference games. If we win one more game at 14-3, we are in as the 1 seed and we are in as the NFC North winner, I believe. Yes, that would be true. As long as we win one more game. I'm going to roll through this some more. We'll talk about it more tomorrow morning. But I'm pretty sure that's it, guys. We just got to win one more game. I'm not going to take up all your time tonight going through the scenarios, but I'm going to do it tonight, and then we'll talk about it in the morning. I'm sure tonight it'll come out on some show somewhere. Someone will talk about it. But I'm pretty sure one more game, and that's it. We own it all. That's incredible. One more game, and the Lions should be able to secure their seed as the 1 seed in home playoff games. Wow. That'll be huge. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys all in the morning for the Rise and Grind morning show. Have a good night. Take care. And Merry Christmas if I don't see you between now and then. Okay? Well, you guys take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Guys in the huddle, man, talking football. NFL, college, man, they cover it all. Feel the tension, prediction and a call. Fantasy life and rise or fall. Talking football night and day, NFL and college, hey, hey. Bets and stats, they don't play. Fantasy champs on our way. Guitars roaring hearts, beating fast. Catch a pass, score, man, have a blast. Three voices, keeping it clear. Listen up, the season's here. Guitars roaring hearts, beating fast. Catch a pass, score, man, have a blast. Three voices, keeping it clear. Listen up, the season's here. Talking football night and day, NFL and college, hey, hey.